What? I didn't know we were starting on this one. I know we are now.
Where's the mic?
In front of your face. But you normally test the mics.
Right.
We didn't do that.
No.
So, you love it for some reason. You're like a pig in shit right now. I don't know why you love it.
All right. So this is episode officially 12, but I deleted the first 5, so it's 7. No, how many have we done together? 6?
This is 7.
6, 7. So first thing, if you like the Dollop, please go leave reviews at iTunes. That helps us out a lot. We have a Twitter feed, the Dollop, at the Dollop. We have a Facebook page, the Dollop. Is it the Dollop Podcast or the Dollop?
You know better.
It's one or the other, but you can also find that linked to through my my Facebook page, Dave Anthony, comedian, and Deer Hunter, and what else was I going to say about it? Yeah, tell your friends.
Yeah.
I mean, since this is now apparently a 2-man thing until I fire Gareth.
I'm right here, man.
It's hard to get new people to come listen if you don't have on big guests. Like,
right.
That's generally how podcasts work. You get a big guest on, then people hear about it, then it starts.
This can change that.
This can change that, but we can also have a guest on once in a while, right?
I suppose.
They're going to build a studio.
Limited amount of words.
All Things Comedy, which is our...
Oh, they are?
The All Things Comedy Network, which we are a part of. They're building a little studio, and so maybe we can have a guest on there and do it there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Al was mentioning that. That sounds awesome.
Yes, it looks like they're going to get a storefront.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're going to have it in a storefront.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so that's a really cool idea. And then, go look at the other podcasts on All Things Comedy. There's some good ones over there, I think.
It's a ringing endorsement from Dave Anthony.
So, Gary.
It's not my name.
You obviously know about the Salem witch.
Burn him.
The Salem witch situation.
Yeah. This is an ongoing drama?
I think it was called the Salem witch situation. But here's what I learned this week. Did you know America had a huge vampire?
I hope that's the end of it. You know, a huge vampire.
There is much the Salem witch thing went on for 6 months or whatever.
Yeah, a fad.
It was a fucking one time.
Yeah.
The vampire, the American vampire. I don't know what we call it. The spaz out.
the Great American Spaz Out.
It's called the Great American Vampire Panic.
Okay.
Went on for 100 years.
I did not know that.
Okay. I'm glad you don't know because it's fucking nuts. All right, so let's start with. I'm
excited.
Let's just dig into vampires in general.
All right.
They started in Slavic Europe. Slavic and German immigrants brought the idea of vampires to America when they came here in 1700.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So a traditional vampire aren't what we think as traditional vampires.
Okay.
Our vampires now are not what vampires were then.
All right.
So, because we think they're all cool and
they smoke cloves. They go out at night.
So they get
bite necks, take cool shit.
Right, cool shit. So, what it was the vampire that back then was a scapegoat for illness.
Oh, okay.
So, if people were dying in the community, they'd be like, "Where's the vampire?"
Oh boy! Oh, medicine was so needed.
A vampire is a corpse that comes to the attention of the community during the time of crisis and is taken for the cause of the crisis.
We do still need this.
We do need this, right? Right?
2008. Goddamn vampires and the economy.
Bram Stoker actually invented our modern day vampire.
Right. Okay.
And he wrote that novel in 1898. So that's when the whole gothic-y, cool, sexy, but hot, fuckable,
fucking vampires. Yeah.
So, So the practice of killing the dead started in Europe. You heard me.
Wait. So
Yeah. I'm sorry, did I?
Yeah.
The practice of killing the dead?
Yeah, it's a little redundant, isn't it? It's been done.
So in Europe, if there was some shit, like if everyone was like, "Oh, I don't feel good," then they would exhume, then they would figure someone had died, and they'd be like, "That's the vampire," and then they would dig up the body and drive a stake through the heart and rearrange the bones, remove the organs, and then burn the corpse. Just to stop the fever that was going through the town.
Well, I'm sure that it worked.
I'm sure it worked. It worked every time. How could it not work?
Oh, we put the stake through the wrong body again. Exhume another.
Well, the funny thing is when if a corpse is not fully decomposed and it's full of gas, when you stick a stake in it, it goes. It's like a balloon.
Oh, so everyone sort of like looks at each other like with a coy little smile. Like, that was kind of cute, wasn't it? It's kind of cute. Little toot. Little heart toot.
That was like a chest fart, right?
He charted. The vampire charted. I'm glad that we've ended the plague, but what an adorable little chest toot. My kid,
Let's do another one.
Let's do one more. Exhume another.
Toot toot. You do yours, and then I'll do mine.
All right,
after.
we can do a little stomp thing. Yeah, I love it.
What's stomp? It's a 1700s.
Nothing. I'm not a time traveler. I'm not a time traveler. For the last time, I'm not a time traveler. Oh, my heart.
All right, so there have been 80 documented exhumations in the U.S.
Jeez.
Of vampires.
Jesus.
Reaching as far back as the 1700s and as far west as Minnesota, but mostly in New England.
Exhume the corpse.
We're going to get that corpse there. We're going to take it open. We got a vampire over here. Let's get some chowder in him.
Fill the vampire with chowder. Now make his chest fart.
Okay. But most of it was in the backwoods of New England in the 1800s. Because in the cities they weren't like down with this.
Why?
This is mostly country
What
folk.
was their problem? They didn't understand logic? They hated math?
They think there are hundreds of more of exhumed vampires all over New England. They just don't know where the graves are, or whatever, or they burn them or whatever.
They over-rearrange the bones.
So in America, it started because of tuberculosis.
TB, got him.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Which was called the consumption, which is my favorite.
It was called the consumption?
Yeah, the consumption, because it consumed you over time. I got the consumption.
Yeah.
What's your function?
It's grim.
It killed 1 out of 4 kids at the time. Didn't live to 5.
That's crazy.
So that's bad. And it killed you slowly over many years. I don't know if you ever saw Tombstone, the movie Tombstone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he had
right?
it.
Yeah.
It could also happen really quickly and kill you super fast.
That's the one I want.
That was called the galloping one.
Oh.
Galloping TB.
Coming to your town.
So obviously it would like rip through a whole family and everybody because they all lived in the same house and they'd all.
It was airborne.
Well, you say that, but back then they thought it was hereditary.
Oh man, talk about retrospect being a fucker.
It started to hit New England in the 1730s, and by 1800s, the disease was a leading cause of mortality in New England. Right?
Goddamn vampires.
Fucking love it. Okay, so here's how it would go down. Skyrocketing fever, hacking, bloody cough, and a visible wasting of the body.
Lead with that one.
I should have, right?
Well, I mean, they should.
So here's a description from someone wrote in the 18th century. The emaciated figure strikes one with terror, the forehead covered with drops of sweat, cheeks painted with livid crimson, eyes sunk, the breath offensive, quick and laborious, and the cough so incessant as to allow the wretched sufferer time to tell us his complaints. I don't even know what that sentence means.
Just give us the facts, Shakespeare. relax. He's like, if not careful, it's like, just be like, hacky, bloody cough.
So a guy did identify what the tuberculosis bacteria in 1882, but it didn't hit the rural areas until the people in the rural areas didn't know that. The people in the cities knew, but the people in the rural areas were still like digging up turnips and fucking each other or whatever they do.
Well, I'm gonna turnip fucker. Hope that works. That's amazing.
And some doctors blamed it on like being drunk or just being poor.
Wait, blamed what? The lack of...
Like you drank too much, so now you're dying.
Oh, you got TB from drinking?
Way to go, whiskey!
I mean, doctors is such a great term for what these guys were back then. They were really just like weird guessers.
Well, some of the cures included drinking brown sugar.
Oh, there you go. That'll get rid of your TB.
And frequent horseback riding.
That's if you have the galloping one.
No, I can't sit up. Yeah. Ride, baby, ride.
Not right now, you can't.
I feel terrible. Ride.
You're going to need to ride your way out of this TB.
What fucking asshole was like, all right. You can't get out of bed. You're coughing. Blood's coming out of you all over the place. Here's my idea. Fucking horse ride.
I can't move.
Okay. You just need the wind in your face and the.
I don't think I could get on a horse.
Bareback horse ride.
I think I'm going to have a bloody cough.
Through the mountains.
The mountains?
What am I? I'm a doctor, right?
Yes.
Get on the fucking horse.
I'm sorry, doctor. Go through the mountains.
So the infection would rip through a family. One member died of it, then the others would get infected,
so
and
much
they
horse
slowly died, and they'd all be on horses.
They'd all be riding horses,
unless they didn't have horses, and then they'd hobble around on a pig.
Just get the little stick with the head, the little toy.
So people started to believe that the reason that the family members were getting sick was because the one that had already died was draining the life from the alive ones.
He becomes a prick ghost.
You can.
That's what they. He just turns into an asshole ghost. This TB.
Stop it,
Clark.
So, which is a great leap of. Well, I mean, it's got to be the dead guy, right?
Well, I mean, I think we all know. Well, I think we're all thinking the same thing. I'll say it. Obviously, it's the guy who just died. He's giving us his TB. I don't know why. I don't know why he's doing it.
I feel terrible. It's dead Larry.
Larry, you stop giving us TB.
So they started blaming, quote unquote, vampires. That's the name that they gave the life suckers were vampires.
Okay.
You see the...
Sure. Very clear. It's very clear. Yep.
So what had to be done was they had to exhume the body of the dead guy or girl to stop the vampire from doing what they're doing.
It sounds like a guy made it all up on the spot. It just sounds like a run-on sentence.
Hey, no, I'm not sick. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm fine. I know I'm sweaty and I look a little pale.
Yeah.
But Jeff died?
Yeah.
Okay, so he is making other people
Well, I don't know
sick.
how we solve that, though. That's the thing. I don't know what we do to...
So, I mean, I guess what we do is we just dig them up.
Dig them up, did you say?
Dig them up, yeah. We just dig them up.
Okay.
Might flip them over, maybe, or set them on fire or whatever. Or something like that.
And then we won't have TB?
Then we'll all be good.
Well, I think that's pretty good. That sounds good to me.
Everybody good?
Everybody good?
Hey,
Put those masks away.
Everybody say I. Who's I? Okay, let's dig them up. It's okay.
It just makes sense. That's just how you problem solve. You heard of troubleshooting? This is ancient troubleshooting.
It's the same thing.
It's the same
It's not even ancient. This is the 1800s.
It's not that far. I mean, really. We're not that distance from these people.
We're really not.
Dig up the body and stab the heart. Grandpa? Do it!
In an attempt to protect the survivors and ward off the effects of consumptions, bodies of those who had died of the disease were exhumed and examined. The exhumations vary widely. In many cases, only family members and neighbors participated, but sometimes the town fathers voted on whether or not to dig them up.
I'm sorry.
And medical doctors and clergymen gave their blessing.
The town fathers?
Yeah. Pop.
This is all dads? We're the dad committee.
That's probably exactly what it was.
That's just
Dads are making a call.
Well, we came inside of our wives. Now we have the judgment. Oh my God! Amazing that there's real value. Shame you're single. We could really use a brain like yours. Anyway, you're not a dad. You think that this is an airborne virus? Boy, you need a wife and a child because we're digging up bodies and stabbing them. Duh.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so there were a lot of so like the out in the rural areas, it was kind of falling apart at this time. Like the farming was going to shit, and so people were heading to the cities. So there was a lot of like abandoned farmhouses and shit like that. Like,
right.
So that climate sort of led to people already being freaked out. You know. So
yeah.
So it was kind of like in the air.
Right.
Shit's not going well.
Did they try stabbing carrots they found somewhere else? Like, normally it ends a drought. They tried throwing carrots at their barn?
And unlike probably what you would think, only about 10% of rural Americans belong to a church.
Really?
So, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It's great.
It's fucking fantastic.
This sounds like maybe a better time.
You say that it's a better time, but they were digging up dead people.
Fair point, David.
Whereas maybe a priest would go, hey, let's not dig up the dead. They didn't have anybody to do that.
You have morals?
And then in different areas, they did different things. In Maine and Massachusetts, they would just dig up the body and flip her over and then close it back up.
What's great is people were probably like, have you heard what they're doing in Maine? They're just digging them up and flipping them up. They're not stabbing the hearts at all.
It's fucking ridiculous.
They're all gonna die.
Every single one of them. All right, roll her over and we're safe.
All right, she's on her face.
In Connecticut and Vermont, they would burn the dead person's heart.
You want to be buried in Maine.
So that means
Maine.
That in Maine, it's better, but in Connecticut and Vermont, some dudes would dig up a body that had been there for months, and then they would crack that shit open and pull out the heart with their hands. Nobody going, we should have brought a mask.
Yeah.
And then they go and they set it on fire.
Boy, I'll tell you, I've got a bit of a cough after that. I'm a little sweaty after all that heart. In Maine, you're a mattress. In Connecticut, you're in the Temple of Doom.
Rhode Island was the worst.
Oh, it gets worse.
Yeah, Rhode Island was originally...
fuck your heart. You'd get heart fucked.
Rhode Island was originally founded as a haven for religious deserters. Yeah, so lots of fucking and stuff. Their families would burn the organs, all of them, rebury the body, and occasionally cut off the head.
Oh my God.
The heart would definitely be burned and sometimes eaten.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And these are people who died of TB.
Yes.
So they're like just eating a TB heart. Just like, wow. He's still at it even after we ate his heart.
I can't believe that didn't work.
I don't feel good at all. I think I have TB.
How does that not work?
You know what we've been doing? We've been eating the hearts, and that seems to really be working.
Well, this is where it gets hilarious. When people from Rhode Island moved into Connecticut, the people in Connecticut were like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And they said they were uneducated and vicious.
You're all uneducated and vicious.
No, the people in Connecticut, all the people in Connecticut did was they would burn the person's heart.
Yeah.
So when the people of Rhode Island came, they'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? You're burning everything?
Are you not going to eat that? Excuse me? That heart you just burned, are you not eating it?
Excuse me, sir. This is Bridgeport."
If you guys aren't going to eat the heart, I'll just eat it. I love it.
We don't do that here.
Well, give it to me. You're going to waste a perfectly good heart.
Good God.
You're still going to have TB, dummies.
But this is also a time when so there are other things that people did at the time.
Sure.
They believed in magical springs with healing powers.
Uh-huh.
My favorite.
You mean bodies of water, not the things in mattresses.
No magical springs from mattresses. They each had a little. Oh, boing, boing. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
People buried shoes by fireplaces.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, that was to catch the devil if he tried to come down the chimney.
Absolutely.
Because if anything catches the devil, it's shoes.
It's underground shoes. Yep. Boy, he must be pissed when he goes through that chimney. Lands. Oh, no.
Fucking shoes.
Oh, now I'm going to have to go back out the chimney. Oh, my confounded system.
They nailed horseshoes above doors to ward off evil.
Yep. Makes sense.
They carved daisy wheels into door frames.
Yep. Got to. In order to.
All that.
Yep.
And they believed in vampires.
Hey! Put a horseshoe above your door and eat this heart.
So they dig up a corpse months after it died, like in Goodfellas. Telltale signs of vampires when they dug them up. Blood around the mouth.
Uh-huh.
A bloated corpse.
Uh-huh.
A heart with blood still in it. And nails and hair that appeared longer than when they were buried.
Okay, wait.
By the way, those last three signs are normal for a decayed corpse. That's
Completely.
just what happens to a corpse.
Completely, yeah. It really is. So, I mean,
So basically,
the odds are stacked against you. You're probably going to be considered a vampire.
So basically, they're just fucking idiots with no knowledge of what happens to a body.
No.
And they dig it up and they go, look!
I mean, what are we, 20 for 20 on vampire digs? We're really just nailing it. They've all had bloated blood hearts and longer hair.
Okay. Often the rituals were at night. They'd light lanterns and they head out. Although in Vermont, it would be really public and sometimes like a big festive event.
Yay.
Like, yay, a dude in a beer hat. Like,
A guy blowing fire.
we're going to burn a heart and eat
They go
it.
to the big wheeled bikes. Hey! We found a vampire!
Okay, one of the most famous vampires is Frederick Ransom of South Woodstock, Vermont.
He's very famous.
He was a Dartmouth College student from a rich family.
Yeah.
And he died of tuberculosis on February 14th, 1817, at the age of 20.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day,
He's
right?
clearly a vampire.
Jesus Christ. Frederick's father was super worried that Frederick would rise from the grave and feed on his
A
family.
normal worry for a father with a boy that age.
So he had him dug up
Yep, as one would
and
do.
burned the heart on the blacksmith's forge in front of a crowd of hundreds.
Hey, you know what I mean? It's Saturday, right? You gotta have fun. What a great dad. Why the hundreds? Wouldn't part of you be like, even if you believe that, wouldn't you be like, it's just so hard to do it to my boy?
But the other thing is like, if there's hundreds of people there, it's a
Hundreds.
tiny heart, and there's no big screen.
Yeah, no,
You
in the
can't-
back, you're like, you want to get the fuck out of here? I can't even see the
I
heart.
can't. There's nothing. What is that? Is that a heart? Or
Guy's
is that
got
like
his
a
kids on his
rock?
shoulders. I can't see the fucking heart.
Put your iPads down. Why are you taking pictures with your iPad?
Just observe the moment.
So, and the crazy thing is this stuff was all like documented in papers because they had newspapers then, and people. Okay, Timothy Mead officiated.
Miracle Heart. What's a reporter?
But what happened after they burned it? Did everyone like clap and go,
Yeah, all right. Poosh. What do you guys want to do? Fuck. That was crazy. Could just burn his kid's heart.
You also want to play soccer?
You guys want to go throw rocks at something?
Like a woman?
Yeah.
So, Timothy Mead officiated at the altar in the sacrifice to the demon vampire, who it was believed was still sucking blood from the then living wife of Captain Burton.
Yep. Well, you're reading from Clue, right?
It was the month of February and good slaying. That was the quote on when they killed.
Good slaying?
Yeah, I mean, he threw that in at the end of...
Hashtag good slaying.
I mean, because the Heart Festival was just like another day. And it was like, hey, it was easy to get there.
Hey, good slaying out there, everybody. Get him in here.
Okay. In 1827, consumption was also being called the White Plague and was viewed as a romantic disease.
Right. Finally, they're making progress.
A lot of people. It was thought the disease created a euphoric state of higher awareness in the afflicted person. If someone had slow consumption, it was considered a kinder form of death, as the person was able to put his affairs in order.
Oh, yes. I've got to bury my shoes by the chimney and cross the T's and dot the...
Oh, this is awesome. I'm slowly wasting away.
I might have time for a horse ride.
Okay, this is where it gets crazy.
Yeah, this is where it gets crazy.
Consumption became, to the wealthy, a form of spiritual enlightenment. Upper-class women actually began to make up their skin to look chalky and pale in order to achieve a corpse-like hue of a consumption victim.
Okay, so
now, you didn't want to fuck me? What about now?
Yeah, the corpse is back in town. I look so dead, you may as well burn my heart and eat it. It just goes to show you that there was always, like, dumb, stupid trends that people are like,
oh my God,
too skinny. It's like, the corpse looks in. That TB look without the TB.
How sick do I look, Mary?
Oh my God, Jennifer totally looks like she has TB. She's killing it. So pissed.
Oh my God, you're so fucking gaunt.
I didn't know you had TB. I don't. That fucking bitch. It's insane.
It's completely insane.
So in this fall. So in.
You know what? Thanks for setting me up. You know, I dug her and everything, but she just didn't look dead enough.
Yeah, I know. She used to look more dead. I don't know. Sorry again. I hadn't seen her in a while. She didn't look as dead as she is. She used to look like dead.
Right? That's what you said. You said she was like.
I showed you that picture, that one black and white picture. She looked dead.
No, like she was. It was like I'm gonna be fucking a corpse.
Yeah, no. She looks like she's alive now. It's gross.
It's still a bummer.
Sorry.
The way you look personally is the way vampires have always been portrayed in folklore, like walking corpses, which is what you are, at least in later stages of consumption. Skin and bones, fingernails are long and curved, so you look like Nosferatu. Like that's that's what you look. That's what you look like at the near the end of consumption.
Thank God it didn't get you quick.
So fuckable.
That corpse look.
You know what are you gonna do with those nails, girl?
You better trim them before you get buried.
So the first known reference to an American vampire scare is a letter to the editor of the Connecticut. I love that the people were like writing letters. Going, okay, what the fuck?
Everyone's dying. I'll write a letter.
It's like people writing letters about climate change.
Yeah. It really
How are we not doing anything about this?
Into the mailbox.
So this guy wrote a letter to the Connecticut Current and Weekly Intelligencer. I love that fucking
great
Weekly
name.
Intelligencer.
It's what we call an intelligencer. It makes you more like intelligent.
It's going to make you smarter.
It makes you smarter, less dummy.
You read it and you're like, no more.
No more dum-dums and smarters now, okay? We're intelligencers.
This was in 1784. Councilman Moses Holmes from the town of Willington warned people to beware of a certain quack doctor / foreigner who was urging families to dig up and burn dead relatives to stop consumption. Holmes had witnessed several children dug up at the doctor's request and wanted no more of it. And that the bodies of the dead may rest quiet in their graves without such interruption. I think the public ought to be aware of being led away by such a man. So if you see this weird, clearly hey, what do you think about the digging up the bodies of the little girls?
I think maybe you gotta dig up the kids. Burn them.
Hello, I am from Transylvania, please. I like to dig up the little ones, yeah? That sounds good. It'll make you less sick.
Yeah, everybody will be okay, okay?
I like to dig up the little small ones.
All right, let's light them on fire and go get something to eat, okay? The idea that people have to be on the lookout for this weird doctor.
Okay, some scholars, some modern-day scholars, think that it actually made a little bit of sense.
Modern day being their modern.
No, modern day. There are historians who say that the vampire idea comes from very astute observations of decay. So, bloated dead bodies appear as if they have been recently eaten.
Wait.
A staked corpse screams due to the escape of gas. During decomposition, it's possible for bodies to sit up and jerk.
Okay, I need to rephrase that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's maybe why we embalm them, because everybody be like, "Oh God,
oh Christ!"
You're at an open casket. Oh God, Grandma sat up.
Oh, the worst never leaves you.
Even sounds can emit from them because bloating can occur. Well, we know what that.
Yeah, that's the charting.
It's farting.
It's charting.
And wind escapes by passing over the vocal cords, so there can be groans. So dead bodies are the most fucked up. That's why we embalm them. Because it's a fucking horror show. Like sitting up and...
It's like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins. All the instruments. Sitting up, just farting.
Is that one dead? Yep.
Hello. Embalm them quickly. Eat their hearts.
Wait, that one's sitting up. What's it gonna do? Hey. Excuse me. Okay, another famous vampire is Nancy Young.
So famous.
Nancy was 19 years old and living with her vet father. A lot of these rural guys were vets who had served in the military. Her mother and 7 brothers and sisters, that's who she lived with. In 1827, her sister fell ill.
Okay.
And then Nancy fell ill and died within a month. So Nancy had the galloping super TB. A short time after Nancy died in the summer, neighbors and friends of the Youngs came together and exhumed the remains of Nancy.
It's just a nice picnic.
Because other people were getting sick, and they were like, listen.
Nancy.
Listen, Jeff.
Yes?
You know how other people are getting sick?
Yes.
What do you say we dig up your dead daughter?
I was just thinking the same thing. It's not going to be easy, but everyone's getting so sick. Probably going to eat her heart.
I don't know how to say this word. Is it pyre when they burn the body on a...
Oh, yeah, I think it's pyre.
Pyre.
Probably wrong.
They had her body burned on a pyre while the members of the family gathered around and inhaled the smoke from the burning remains.
You high? You don't bogart Nancy.
But there had to have been someone in the family who was like,
so...
Can I...
Wait.
Dad, can I not do this? I don't want to breathe my sister.
Shut up and breathe your sister in. Smoke your sister.
I can't.
There you go.
You know
Taste
what?
Nancy?
Oh, no, it tastes like dead body.
Yeah. None of us are going to get TB now. I got a good feeling.
That's right. They felt it would restore them to health and prevent the rest of them falling to consumption.
Again, inhaling TB smoke.
Well, it's not inhaling TB. It's inhaling burnt TB.
Yeah, but again.
Okay, so here's the weird thing. Did not work.
Whoa.
Her sister died in August, and then her brother only in December, and then Hudla died in August, and then Caleb died in May, and Hiram died in February, and then there was only one.
Boy.
Sister left. Local scientists believe the water...
Local scientists.
Local scientists believe water in the family well was contaminated. So they were more like, I get what you guys are doing. Maybe it's the water and not vampires.
So next time, maybe we start with water and then move to heart consumption? How do you guys feel about that? Let's work the other way. I think it's the water. I just smoked my daughter. Yeah, I think it's the water. Again, I hate to...
Oh, my God. Have you ever bonged your daughter?
Man,
it is really...
I just am so baked off of my daughter's corpse. I could keep food away from me right now.
Woo! That was fucking great.
I could eat everything.
Just, you know what? Even if your daughter's not dead, I recommend you burn her and smoke her.
Smoke her. Smoke her if you got her. That's what I always say. Smoke her if you got her.
High. Let's put on some Floyd.
Some what?
Pink Floyd?
Are you a time traveler?
Oh, so, Thoreau.
Oh,
the famous...
Justin Thoreau from Jennifer Aniston.
He's around then, so he wrote about vampires.
Okay.
In his journal, September 26, 1859, the savage man is never quite eradicated. I have just read of a family in Vermont who, several of its members having died of consumption, just burned the lungs, heart, and liver of the last deceased in order to prevent any more of them having it. Fucking Thoreau.
Wow.
Thoreau is writing about vampire people. I wish I had a whole chapter.
Oh.
And vampires.
And vampires. That could be a novel.
Love the woods. Also, this is crazy.
Here's why I'm in the woods all the time. They're eating their children's livers. Probably going to chill in the woods.
The press, obviously the local press, viewed the practice as superstition. But the
liberal media.
Burning the organs was pretty much among the rural people.
We all can agree burning organs makes sense.
They were like, this is good medicine.
We can all agree that's the right thing.
The most famous vampire of all is Marcy Lana Brown. Lana.
Marcy Lana Brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her family consisted of Father George, Mother Mary, a daughter also named Mary, a son known as Edwin, and 2 other children in addition to Mercy. So they got these people are all, they just keep fucking and making
Well, you want to be on the Council of Dads.
I mean, if I was them, I would dig up a corpse and use some of the skin as a condom.
They'd be like, lunatic, heretic.
Now, here's the crazy thing and why this is the most famous one. This happened in 1893.
Jesus. It's just...
right?
That's simply not that long ago.
This is like when Carnegie and Rockefeller and Ford and Edison are starting to do this shit. Like, there's some serious science happening.
Some thinkers are on the case.
Technological advances. They have lights and telephones, and they're working on automobiles, and they have gas-powered engines.
Eat that heart. Let me show you how to make a car. Let me show you the Model T. Eat my daughter's liver, then let me show you this Model T.
Oh, fuck. So it's an era of science, right?
Yeah.
And in the middle of this,
we have...
in 1893, the Providence Journal editors were flipping out because they just heard the story of Marcy Lana Brown.
Okay.
It happened in Exeter, which was, at this point, it used to be a big, area, and now people have been moving out, and, 4 out of every 5 houses is abandoned.
Okay.
It's that kind of shit. So it's
Detroit.
it's Detroit. Yeah. It's fucking Detroit of the 1890s.
Yeah.
Consumption took its first victim within the Brown family in December 1893 when Mercy's mother, Mary Brown, died of the disease. So Mary's out.
Okay.
7 months later, the Browns' eldest daughter, Mary Olive, it's a terrible name.
Horrible.
Olive. Also died of consumption. There goes me, Olive.
Poor Olive. Passed away.
The Browns' only son, Edwin, came down with consumption.
Oh, boy.
A couple years after Mary's death and was sent to live in the arid climate of Colorado to try and stop the disease.
Okay.
That was what people were like, go to the dry place.
That makes more sense than eating hearts. That's way better. Way better.
Now notice at this point, they're not like, let's dig up Mary. She died first.
Yeah.
They're nothing. They're not.
Nope.
Nope. No.
Go to Colorado, boy.
In 1891, Edwin returned home to Exeter because the disease was progressing. Colorado, not working.
Okay.
He basically came home to die. He's like, hey, I'm back.
And really sick.
Mercy, got the galloping consumption. So she fucking died within a couple of months.
Okay.
And she was laid to rest in Chestnut Hill Cemetery on Victoria Highway.
All right.
Right? A good cemetery.
It's a great place.
Lots of good people.
Love to be 6 feet under there.
Now, residents of the town are getting a little freaked out.
Now, Dave, I feel like we're taking one of your classic turns. All right.
Because up until this point, everything's cool.
Yeah, everything's great.
But then young Mercy dies, and they're like, oh, wait a minute. And they started freaking out that if it can take out the Brown family, it could take out the next family. And George Brown, the dad, was getting leaned on. Everyone's like, hey, bro,
Betty.
It's time to start digging.
You know what I mean?
Let's get some shit going.
See, we got you that shovel?
People in the town, rumors started spreading of sightings. Some said they'd seen Mercy walking amongst the graves in the cemetery, just cruising around, right? Others had seen her walking across farmlands, just cruising. And so they all deduced, well, she's a vampire.
Yep.
Right?
Of course. She's walking around.
So all the townspeople got together and to George Brown and said, let's fucking do this.
A think tank.
Let us fucking do this.
Yeah.
So he was like, all right, I'll dig up my daughter and I'll take out her heart and I'll burn it.
Just so hard for a dad to say.
Here's the great thing.
What?
A reporter from the Providence Journal
was there, and please tell me they knew that was crazy.
He came. He was like, you guys got any local stories going on?
I heard about that 3-legged donkey. What's over here?
Oh, you going to dig up what?
Huh?
In the journal, it says that he was, quote, satisfying the neighbors by digging up the... All right, okay. You guys get what you want.
Jesus Christ, fine. I'll take out the trash. I mean, eat my daughter's heart.
And that's just the thing. How many times have you had to dig up like a loved one because of neighbors?
So many.
It's fucking... I mean, that shit needs to
It's
end.
the new borrowing sugar.
Come on. And the father asked that a physician come.
Right.
Dr. Metcalf.
Of course.
From nearby Wickford. So they dug up the body and they set about examining it. They actually dug up all 3 of the bodies. They dug up the wife.
Well, while you're there, you got the shovels. I mean,
okay, so
make a day of it. Go through all this trouble, exhume all 3.
Hey, let's make some sandwiches.
Hey,
and just
come
do the
on.
whole thing. So they dug up the wife and the daughter who had died years before. So they're not in good shape.
Yum.
They're like, yucky. These ones are yeesh. After digging up the graves of both the mother and daughter, it was determined that neither was a vampire because the bodies were decomposing as would be expected.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Well, these ones.
It's so fucking amazing. They're like, You know, if you leave them for a few years, they're not vampires. If you get them within 6 months, they're vampires.
But Mercy was different.
Because she had recently been buried.
Shut up!
All right, sorry.
Not only had her body changed position inside the coffin, or roller.
Well, she dies better on her side.
Her face was flush, her skin had not decomposed, and most importantly, her hair and nails had continued to grow.
Yeah, well.
The villagers noted it was too well preserved.
Yep.
Also,
she's clearly been walking.
Also, I should add, she died in winter, and it was still winter.
I mean, she's freezer fresh. That's the problem.
The doctor emphasized that her lungs showed tuberculosis germs. So he's sitting there going, hey, it's TB.
More. It smells like TB down here.
Yeah, we're going to burn her.
Tastes like TB in her lung. Boy, I feel like I got TB.
Okay. There's a suggestion in the newspaper that she wasn't actually in the ground. She was actually put in above ground crypt because bodies were stored in the wintertime when the ground was frozen and they couldn't dig. And when the thaw came, they would bury them. So it's possible she wasn't even buried.
Yeah.
She was just, they fucking couldn't dig in the ground.
Yeah.
So they had her in a fucking above ground freezer.
Yeah.
And then they went in there.
She's too well preserved. She's too well preserved. All these bodies are too well preserved.
So her condition prompted the group to cut open her chest and examine her innards, which must have been just a great moment.
Fun.
And good for Dad.
Fun for Dad. I mean, he's never going to be
Fun-
able to walk her down the aisle, but this is the next best thing.
Just like some guy who's a farmer is like, all right, let's cut this shit open, and I'll take a look in there and see what's good and what's wrong. You don't know anything about the human body. It is gross in here. It's vampire-y.
Her guts are all vampire-y. You can definitely see she's a vampire.
Imagine the fucking odor of all of these.
Well, I mean, also, in the same day, you're digging up the wife and the son. Like, there's a real hum coming out of there.
Next day, you're like, I cannot shower this smell
Wow.
off.
I mean, wow. I thought cigarettes stuck on my clothes. Holy God. My God, my daughter's guts are just all in my jacket. Smell this. I'm going to have to get this.
I don't want to smell it. I don't want to become a vampire.
Smell this.
Okay. They examined her organs. The newspaper said her heart and liver had blood in it. It was liquid blood, which they interpreted as fresh blood.
Wow.
Blood can coagulate and become liquid again, so that's what happens.
Okay, so there's that one.
But the liquid was taken as evidence that she was a vampire.
Yep.
And draining the life from Edwin and possibly other victims in the community.
Possibly? Come on, definitely.
So they cut her heart out.
Sure.
And they burned it on a nearby rock.
Hey! That's how I want to go.
Then they fed the ashes to Edwin.
Oh, wait a minute, though, Dave. Edwin's dead.
No, he's not dead yet.
Oh, he's not?
He's still sick.
He's about to get sicker.
This is good. Can I get something to wash us down with?
This tastes really bad.
Oh, God.
I think I'm going to die.
Are you sure? Because this seems weird.
This is horrible.
This tastes bad. And
This tastes like TB.
hey, can I just die instead?
Please die. Can I die?
So the idea was that by consuming the vampire's heart, the spell would be broken and the victim would get well. Makes sense. It makes sense. What are you laughing at? It makes sense. Edwin died 2 months later.
Of what? What did he? What? A car hit him?
AIDS!
I knew it. Oh boy! Did he try eating his brother's penis? Normally cures AIDS.
Jesus Christ! I can't believe this is happening in 1893 in America. We are so much more fucked up than anybody ever thought.
We're not far removed from this. I mean, slavery is like, it's hard to believe slavery was this is who you're dealing with. These are the people who are like,
yeah,
they're different color. They work for us forever for free. just an enormous moral logic gap. And it feels like we bridged it. Maybe they'll look back at us and be like, can you believe
This
that?
is fucking after the slaves were freed.
This
This is like, bro, this is crazy.
This is recent.
Okay, so this is a historian named D'Agostino. I try to put the person who's reading it into that time, so they saw how people were reacting to situations and why they did what they did. Death was much more prevalent than it is now. 1 out of every 4 children in rural New England were not expected to live past the age of 5, given the scarcity of doctors. Although I got to say, the doctors didn't seem to matter anyway.
You're lucky to not go to a doctor. You're better off not going to a doctor.
The number was 1 in 10 healthier environments. I know what that means. Doctors could not stop the spread of the disease. When the bizarre treatments failed, people turned to superstitions that probably had root in European homelands. One of the main ones was being a vampire. In truth, it was contagion that was responsible. It was common time for several family members to share a bed.
Oh, God.
So they would all... Okay, so that's where it happened.
Yes.
They were all sleeping in one fucking bed.
Yeah.
And no one was like, hey,
Maybe.
Doug next to me is dying.
He's shivering.
Maybe I shouldn't sleep next to him. Maybe I should get some shut-eye on the fucking floor.
Guys, I'm worried that we're going to have to eat Doug's heart soon. It's a real concern.
I love that no one's like, hey, get away from the dying guy.
Hey, leave them be. Yeah. I mean, that just seems like instinct. Doesn't it? Wouldn't you just be like, get away from the one coughing?
No one knew that it was contagious.
Well,
No,
I guess
not even the doctors who thought it was hereditary.
You've got TB from your dad.
Is
Your dad, yeah. Your dad has.
He doesn't
TB.
have it yet.
Yeah, but it's in his family. Genome.
Well, no one's died of it.
Yeah, but it's in. I'm the doctor. Here, have some heart. Eat a little of this heart. Do a cartwheel and then lay on your back, and you won't have it anymore.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right?
good. Yep, done.
I'm magic.
Oh, my something snapped.
Yep.
You can still go to the Chestnut Hill Cemetery
I'm probably
and
not
see where Lana was buried, dug up, and reburied.
gonna. And barbecued.
She's still there. She lies right next to her brother who ate her heart, and her father who let it happen.
Well, he didn't eat her heart. He sort of somehow consumed her hearty ashes.
God damn it.
It's almost worse. Oh,
It's worse. I think it is
you'd
worse
be like,
than eating- Can I just cook it instead of cooking it all?
it looked kind of edible a minute ago. This is way overdone. I said medium.
During the same year that Mercy was dug up and burned, there was a young man touring the United States from England.
Oh, boy.
He stopped to talk to Thoreau. He was a London stage manager and an aspiring novelist.
Oh, boy.
His name was Bram Stoker.
Yep.
His gothic masterpiece Dracula was published 3 years later.
Wow. That's crazy.
Isn't that fucking nuts?
So that's where... That's crazy.
Yeah. So
Thoreau and Bram.
So what they say is that because in America these were all mostly young girls that they were. So notice like the mothers die and they're
Right.
like, yeah, whatever. That
Yeah.
A brother dies, like, yeah, I guess a little kid dies, I guess a fuck, and then
Yeah.
some hot 20-year-old dies, and they're like, let's dig her up and get in there.
I think we should fuck the dead.
Oh, let me take a look at the pussy really quick.
Sir?
I'm just gonna need to, you know what? You guys step back a little bit. And I'm gonna, burn this one out.
Good
That's my
news.
daughter.
She's not a vampire. Anyone have a smoke? Anyone gonna smoke?
So what it was he's hearing stories of these pretty young
he just
girls,
sort of-
and then he transferred that over to pretty young thing, and
Made-
there was like a hot young chick in the book,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like it all became a. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah. So then he just really made it. He kicked it up a notch. He's like Emerald.
He's so much like Emerald. It's crazy.
Yeah. So then he really just put a nice shine on it. But then were people still, after he wrote that, did that make people crazier?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think it could get crazier.
Well, did that make? Were they still crazy?
Well, after that last one, the Mercy one, they got so much shit from other people in America because everyone else was like, wait, what?
Sorry?
I'm sorry.
What did you say?
I'm sorry.
No. It sounded like you said you had your son eat your daughter's heart ashes.
Because I'm working on a combustion engine over here.
Because we invented cars. So
they got a lot of heat, and then they stopped, and that was like the last one.
Man, they make us feel so bad for digging up those bodies, eating those hearts. Stupid city folk. Medicine
Just
science.
leave us alone. Well, I'm gonna secede.
I didn't make you eat the heart.
Gonna secede so I can burn and eat my daughter's dead daughter.
I thought this was America. You could burn your daughter's heart and feed it to your son. Just whatever. You don't want to do it? Fine. You want to fucking everyone die? Fine. That's your fucking problem, guys. Just trying to help.
You know, I got a phrase for you. It's called City Mouse, Country Mouse.
Okay, so...
And I'm a country mouse.
Okay.
And country mouse like to burn up their dead daughters and eat them.
Put that in your pipe and smoke and dump city folk. Stupid idiot.
I'd like to say a lot has changed, but they're still voting Republican out there.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, look, like, it just... With climate change, I mean, that could absolutely be a thing that people will look back on us and be like...
It's no different.
What were they doing?
It's almost no different. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you have science versus stories.
Yes.
And so, and for whatever reason, stories keep winning. What the fuck?
Stories do keep winning.
It's the worst.
Oh, God damn it.
You know the best way to stop climate change is to eat your daughter's heart. Polar ice caps will start to swell.
You got to burn it first, right?
Obviously you burn it.
A little bit of butter.
A little butter.
Salt and pepper.
Nuke it. Put a little butter on it. Hit the baked potato button. Pop it in the microwave. 2 minutes 50 seconds.
God damn, there
pops out.
There goes climate change.
Eat that.
Eat that shit.
Welcome rain. Rain will be there in no time.
Doesn't this make you feel a little bit different about America?
Yeah, but it just yes.
Like, I had no fucking idea. The Salem witch shit happened in the 1600s.
And was months.
This happened in 1893.
Yeah.
It went on for over 100 years. 150 years, people were digging up other people and eating their hearts. For 150 years.
Oh, my God.
Almost
Oh my
to 1900. Just shy of 1900.
Oh, my God. There probably were people doing it in 1900. It's just way more DL'd. They weren't like...
All right, no inviting reporters.
Yeah.
Number one, no inviting reporters.
Now listen, everyone. We're about to eat a heart, but don't tell anyone because all these city folk get so judgy. 100 years. We don't talk about our heart-eating century enough.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah, in the back.
So we've been doing this for 150 years.
Yeah, I know.
And everyone just keeps dying of TB.
Well, yes.
Should we do something else?
No, it would be worse if we weren't eating their hearts.
What?
There would be more. Trust me. We're putting a dent in this. Trust me.
We're slowing this shit
We're
down.
slowing it down. I hear you. But listen, we got to keep eating hearts. I don't want to laugh you out of here, sir, because I respect you as a scientist. But we're going to keep eating hearts. Thank you very much.
Okay, so just a second point.
This better not be about not eating hearts. Go ahead.
I just want to say goodbye because I'm going to move to the city.
What? Oh, yeah, have fun with medicine.
You know how a bunch of the houses are empty around here?
Yeah, yes.
Have you ever thought that's because you keep digging up kids and eating their hearts?
Listen, real estate here is open, I'll say that. Yeah. But unfortunately, we've had to eat a lot of hearts.
Right.
And, yeah.
But so
I think that's pretty much answers your question.
So you know how the Duncans were living in that house?
Yeah, just ate the Duncan's heart.
And next door, the Wiltons were like, hey, our neighbors keep eating hearts.
Yeah.
And then they packed up all their shit in a U-Haul and they took off?
Yeah, I feel bad for them. Lost souls. Lost souls, though.
Jesus Christ.
Our 100 years of heart eating.
100 years of fucking heart eating?
Heart eating. I really didn't know.
America! Seriously, America.
Eat your heart out, other countries.
All right. Hopefully we can do a Dollop next week. We're both traveling, so we'll try to do one. If we can't, we can't. Whatever.
We'll do one.
Oh, wow.
We'll do one.
Okay, girl.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
We'll just do this one again.
I know a lot of people have been sending in requests. I think the way this is going, I think we're just going to keep it about American stuff.
All right.
Don't you? I don't know. How do you feel about that?
No, I think you could open it up.
We could, but right now, right now I kind of want to. I like how it's going. It's kind of like...
Well, wait, Papa Bawa, we dipped our toe into international waters.
Papa Bawa was a little bit of a detour.
I mean, people still on Twitter will be like, you mean like Papa Bawa?
All right, maybe we'll open it up.
Yeah, I mean, well, whatever you think. I think you got a good read.
Okay, and so keep sending... if you have suggestions, send them to the Dollop Podcast at Gmail, and then you can also post them on the Facebook page if you have an idea, or you can even tweet it to the Dollop at the Dollop. I think that's it. Anything?
iTunes, like them.
Oh, fuck yeah. Reviews on iTunes.
Yep.
Please, reviews on iTunes. All right. Next week, werewolves, I guess.